Pastor Russ here with Hope for Today. Today, November 11th, is Veterans Day. Veterans Day was established back in 1954 by President Dwight D. Eisenhower as a day to honor those who have served in our armed forces. I think it's only appropriate that President Eisenhower was one who established this special day, as during World War II, he became a five-star general in the Army, and he served as the Supreme Commander of the Allied Expeditionary Force in Europe. I have personally never served in one of our branches of our armed forces. My father served during World War II. He was an officer in the Army. He served in the European front as well as later on at the end of World War II in the Pacific arena as well. My dad never talked a lot about his time in the war. I found this to be true of many who have actually served in combat. My dad did tell me, though, that the day after Berlin fell, his company actually entered Berlin, and he personally entered into the war room that Hitler had there in Berlin. It's very easy for us to take for granted the freedoms that we enjoy in the United States. It is only right that we not only take a day, but many days, and constantly think about the freedoms that we enjoy and the price that many people have paid for us to enjoy those freedoms. Janie and I, these past few years, have been able to travel a good bit. Very fortunate to do that. A couple of years ago, we actually spent time in Vietnam. We had a great experience there. It was a lovely country, lovely people. But one of the things that we did, we traveled outside of Saigon and we toured a series of underground tunnels that the communist fighters used during the Vietnam War. They would sleep in these tunnels during the day, and then at night, they would come out and perform or have guerrilla warfare, if you would. It was frightening for me, number one, to crawl down in these tunnels and to experience that, but even more frightening to think about the young soldiers, 18, 19-year-old young teenagers who served our country in Vietnam, walking through those tropical jungles in the oppressive heat, experiencing that, but also just the fear that I even felt of someone walking through those jungles not knowing where someone may come out of a hole in the ground to take someone's life, or to see the booby traps that had actually been set up for our soldiers. It's only right that you and I take time to thank those who have served our country. Let me just offer you 4 quick ways that you and I can do that. First of all, simply thank them. You and I all here living in San Diego, we all know veterans. Take a moment, send them a quick text or an email just to say, hey, thanks for what you've done for our country. A second way, especially if you have friends who are still serving in active duty, if a spouse is deployed, just a nice thing to do is to touch base with those remaining behind to see if there's any way we can be of service. A third way is to connect other military or former or vets with each other. One of the things I love to do here at New Hope, when I meet new people, if I find out that they've served our country, I'll quickly kind of find out, what branch of service, were they on a ship, what type of thing, and I'll try to connect them with someone else in our church that I know has had a similar experience. It's always neat to see military vets connect with one another. They have seemingly an instant connection, and they have their own lingo as they talk about their time serving our country in the military. And then finally, a fourth way that you and I can honor our veterans is to be a good citizen. One of the quickest ways we can disrespect a veteran is to disrespect our nation on whose behalf they have fought to help us have these freedoms that we enjoy today. On the other hand, a great way to honor a veteran is to be a good citizen, is to vote, is to continue to fight for justice for all people, especially in our own country, and also certainly to pray for our nations. I want to say to those veterans here at New Hope and who may be watching this, I want to say thank you for your service to our country. We're indebted to you more than you will ever know. And we are grateful for what you have done that allowed us to live on what I truly believe is the greatest nation on the face of this earth, the United States of America. So to our veterans,